Hello Aries, and welcome to your Astroflower reading for Pluto going from Capricorn into Aquarius. I have done a collective reading on that, and I go into a lot more about Pluto and the effects of Pluto through different signs and through the history and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go into that sort of detail here, but I'm just to sort of break it down because that's what Capricorn does. Capricorn has been, Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, which we saw the monetary crisis, and it broke down a lot of things, a lot of mechanics in life of how we do things and how we construct things in the future. And it's a case of sort of like we start building something, kind of go, and then it stops. We have to go back to the beginning and rebuild again. There's been a lot of that, of constant going through that. And it's brought together and it's brought it to a point now, which it does at every time between Capricorn and Aquarius, where we go from conflictual ideas of how we do things into a logical and logical evolution, which I've been talking about for a long time. And from that logical evolution, then we need to refine the emotional and spiritual side, or the social way in which we connect with one another, which Aquarius is all about. That is all about family, community, friends, groups, humanity. But it's also to do with creativity and doing things in a creative way, using the mechanics that we have and creating something completely different. And this could be within our financial world as much within our spiritual and an emotional side of life. And it's being true. And this is what Aquarius is going to be doing, because for me, Aquarius is like John the Baptist in a way. It's the water bearer. And the water bearer gives a prayer, so that's the air side, the intention, the main message behind it. And then when we sort of baptize, we wash away all our sort of dirt and our sort of sins on our hands, and then our hands are clean to explore new avenues. And they will eventually get dirty again, and you're going to have to get baptized again, and that sort of thing. So, I think this is you should do this on a regular basis, cleansing oneself on a regular basis. I think emotionally, spiritually, and physically, I think that is going to be very prevalent within the Aquarian season. And we're also going into the Aquarius, into the age of Aquarius, sorry. So that's the essence behind it here, and we've seen it in all the readings at the moment. Just a bit of housekeeping. I have given up doing weekly readings because I don't believe anymore in the short-termism. I think I'm believing a lot more in the longer-term goals. The application of spirit in the world, the application of energy in the world, and that is something that you can't. It's not like an Instagram post that you can just flick through. I'm getting less and less involved in all of that sort of malarkey. Although I never really was, because I'm a Capricorn. We're pretty boring, as people go. We like long termism and that sort of thing. I think so I've stopped the weekly readings, and I'm doing more sort of like longer term sort of readings like this Pluto reading, but also the monthly reading, which will be coming out this weekend. So yeah, thank you very much for being here. I hope you get the best out of this, really do, because when you're in a good world, I'm in a good world. So yes, I hope you get the best, and thank you very much for being here. Let's just see what's going on. So the overall energies here, this is the karmic message for our spiritual and our relationship side, emotional side. This is the karmic message for our sort of material side, job, business, and etc. This is how the universe is influencing this karmic path. This is how Capricorn, or Pluto in Capricorn, influenced us in the past. This is how Aquarius is influencing us in the future, and this is the general outcome. Okay, so let's just get straight on with that. Let's just see what's with you. You've got the Five of Cups on the overall energy. I think Capricorn broke things down. As I said, it brings things back to the bone. It helps us to realise, what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, there are things that just don't work, which is a shame. And we might well be disappointed. But the overall energy here in Aquarius is saying to you, sort of saying, don't look to the past, look to the future. And that, in the future, you get those two cups there. And it's saying to you, be in alignment with yourself. Once you do, then, you know, if you turn towards those cups, then that leads you onto that bridge that then takes you off to that new town that you've got to go and discover loads of things. And I think you've got this already, to be honest, Aries. I know I've got a lot of Aries around me, within my family and within people I know. And with this, you know, there's a, you know, I've seen within them a huge understanding. And it's beautiful to see. It's really beautiful to see. And yeah, some things may well be disappointing. And the thing is with Aries is, you know, because you're cautious as a sign, sometimes you can be perceived as being pessimistic. But I look at it much more in Aries as someone who's going to give you the bare facts and not pull the wool over your eyes, which is so Aries, isn't it? Obviously, we're talking about wool and sheep, you know, the ram, you know, you're not a sheep, you're a ram. You lead the way, you don't follow, you know. So I think you've got to lead the way in your life. Okay, on your karmic path here, yeah, the moment you do, it is going to, and you've been, you know, I've been looking at all your readings that I've been doing over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever it is. I've seen this building into you, this whole idea of saying you can hold up the whole thing as a pillar. You're really strong. You've got some very good shoulders upon you. You've got some very broad shoulders, and you can really support a lot. But also at the same time, I've discovered, you know, this other side of Aries, of this insatiable sort of thirst for discovery, to learning, to, you know, tasting things, really, trying things out in a very, very honest way. And I think this balance between the two things, that authoritarian side and that sort of playful, enjoying, exploring side, is coming into fruition within your life under Aquarius. It is an air sign, and it works well for your fire. And it makes you very passionate about life. And once you get that passionate about life, you're going to feel like you are winning in all fronts, on your spiritual front and emotional front. And I think people are going to start recognizing that. Then it's going to take them a little bit of time, and you may need a little bit of patience with some people. But overall, I think if you start heading off towards those 2 cups, heading off to what you should be doing, and the Knight of Cups wants to jump out, you know, life is offering you a great opportunity, a really good opportunity under Aquarius. What is the universe offering you? 4 of Swords. I think because you've seen a lot, and you've seen it right, and you've called it out when it needs to be called out. And that does put you alone, because some people just, you know, even groups of people don't want to hear the truth. They just oblivious to it and just continue down their, you know, blind life, bumping and banging into things, which has made you sort of disappointment. It's helped to create a certain degree of that disappointment. And I think it's disappointment in others rather than in yourself. And the universe here is bringing you healing with this. And it's sort of saying, go off on your path. Go off on that curious path here, and explore your pleasures, or your happiness, and your combination of your happiness with everybody that is around you is going to give you that sensation of home within you, of being at one with you. And it's a real blessing of seeing things for what they are. Yes, it does bring disappointment, but it's also a real blessing that's going to allow you to really open up to a load of different things in the future. What has Capricorn brought you? It's made you examine things, how they work, in the spiritual and relationship sides, in a very mechanical way, in a very concrete way, that's obviously brought things to the surface that you didn't really see in the past. And I think it does tie into that as well, but it also ties into that. And I think actually this moon card here of bringing the unforeseen to the surface has really helped you to see things clearly. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. Once you start heading off into your future, yeah, I think you're going to get some really good offerings and beautiful things that are coming into your life as you go down this path. And as you head into Aquarius, it's going to make it a lot clearer for your emotional sort of side, which is sometimes a little bit difficult for you. Because, you know, having a control over your emotions, and control over your emotions does not necessarily mean not showing any emotions. That is not control over your emotions. That is just suppressing your emotions. And I wouldn't suppress any emotions, but I would have control over it. So be happy when you're supposed to be happy, or when you feel like you should be happy. You know, when you know you should be happy, you know, or be angry when you should know you should be angry. Don't be angry just because, and that's the big change I've noticed in Aries as well. Don't be angry just because, you know, either you're losing a conversation or a discussion, or you don't understand and it makes you frustrated and everything like that, so you get angry. Here is sort of kind of be angry when you're supposed to be angry, when you have righteousness on your side. That's the only time, you know, and it's not through the destruction of another. It's just the anger to sort of saying, look, it's like when you're looking at a box and there's loads of yellow beads in there and there's only one red bead in there, and someone picks it up and goes, look, it's yellow. And this yellow bead is red. Look, this is the red bead. And you're kind of going, no, it's not. Look, there it is there. And they're kind of going, they're oblivious to it, you know. And they're kind of going, you know, I'm not, no, it's red. And you're kind of going, well, what world do you live in? And, you know, and that could make you angry. And that's rightful angriness, you know. And this is all ties into that logical evolution that's going forward. There's something that's dead, done and dusted with. And I think it's this whole idea of you not... of the sort of parts of your life that everybody has, regardless of the signs, that you're not very happy with. And I think this is that decision now to walk away from something being in a certain way that is, you know, maybe it may avoid confrontation and stuff like that, but it still makes you disappointed. Okay? So walking away from that is essential with you. Just realizing that there's certain aspects of your life that are dead, done and dusted with. Once you do that, that's when you're going to get the victory, because it allows you to then have that space to explore the things, and it brings in that healing that comes along in it with it, allows you to explore those sort of things that make you go, yeah. And it's living to the future. That's what I said there. Don't look to the past, look to the future. And that is what the past is all about. You know, that's what I'm saying here. There's certain things that are dead, done and dusted with that you are going to see clearly emotionally within your life. And it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to cause you pain. It's a real, you know, it's a revelation. It's a baptizing moment where you can just wash away those sort of, those things that just do not sit with you anymore. It doesn't cause you any pain to get rid of them. Just, you know, they just let them to die off by their own sort of non-existence. You know, if you don't want to include something, if you don't want something in your life, you don't include it in your life, and before you know it, without realizing it, it's no longer there. And it becomes very, very logical for you. What's the overall outcome for you? A tower moment. I think this is a good tower moment. This is all about revelation. This is all about cleaning you. And it's going to bring you into such a victorious and rightful place in your life in regards to your spirit and your emotions. It's going to deconstruct, not necessarily smash to pieces, deconstruct old belief systems. Now, we're on your spiritual path here and your emotional side. It's going to deconstruct, because some things are dead, done and over with. And this tower is no longer serves its purpose. It's no longer fit for purpose. It's a bit shaky construction-wise, and it may fall down, so it might cause some damage to people. But this is, you're willingly allowing this to happen. This is part of your victory. It brings, you know, it stops these, you know, certain people who are just like blindly going forward and bumping into other people, causing lots of stress and strains for everybody else, because they just refuse to see the logic in the situation, the normal, natural logic, the humane logic in it all. And I think you're here to take that all down in a very matter of nonchalant sort of way, in a really good way. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of disappointment with the world around you. I've been through it personally, and it's okay. It's okay, because you will find a lot of people who are within line with you. You're going to feel that happiness that is due to you. I want to put it with that tower card, because once you get the tower out of the way, you can let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. That's a song from This Is the Age of Aquarius. I forgot what the actual song's the musical's called, but it could be Age of Aquarius. I can't remember. But yeah, so you can let that sun shine in. Just let it shine in. Let's see what's going on your material side. You got the Five of Swords. This is on your karmic path. This is a control as well over your side to. I think this is where it plays into your really nice side in a way, Capricorn. You try and try and try to help people. You really do, and it's like and you're offering. It seems like you're offering like a really, honest. There's no hidden catches in life, in your material world, in your job, in your business. It's just like kind of going, you should be doing. If you want to sell houses, you should be advertising in the in this or whatever, advertising on this website or whatever. And the person starts saying, no, I'm going to come out with a flip card and advertise like that, and I reckon we're going to get loads more. And you're trying to help people. Some people just can't be helped. And I think this is a way here is you being a leader as a sort of taking those swords out of the ground and sort of saying, okay, right, we're going to stop this fighting here. We're moving on to something completely different, and diffusing a lot of things. It's a real transition for you, actually, Aquarius. A major transition for you, and it makes you see clearly a lot of things, and just helps you to walk away from things. The universe here is bringing in the Chariot. I think if you do this, if you start applying that within your job, within your business, being very frank, being very straight, and just not trying to convince people, just sort of saying this is the way it is. It's going to change things very quickly and make you get, provide a lot of, victories for you, and also control over the situation. Not control over people, but give you much more direction in your life, going from one place to another. This Chariot is leaving that town behind them. And that's what you need to be doing here on the overall energy as well. And this is where you need to be leaving and going off on a journey and transitioning from, maybe just being a little bit too nice and understanding, and just sort of saying, you either get it or you don't get it, sort of scenario within your job and your business and stuff like that. And it's going to bring you great victories that come in. What's Capricorn brought you? I think it's brought you the sense of what you're really giving away, what you're investing. So if you're doing a job and you're doing 60 hours a week and you're not getting the results and not being paid what you should be really paid for the amount of time and effort you put into it, I think you should start restricting that. I think you should start being very honest about how you put your money, your time and effort into things. And I think that's what Capricorn, breaking it down to the bone, breaking it down to the mechanics, has taught you. So you're no longer doing things that's just going to, that pleases others. Just because it pleases others. Not because it's efficient or not because it's a good idea, but because, that's how we used to do business. We don't do like that business anymore like that. We do it completely differently. And that's what Capricorn's brought you. That understanding, breaking it all down. And you get the Four of Cups. Wow, look at this. You got the Five of Cups and the Five of Swords, right? And then from Capricorn, you've got the Four of Pentacles, which is all to do with Capricorn, breaking it down physically, so you can see the nuts and bolts. That's what that's all about. So you've got control over everything. It could be a case of holding on too tightly, but realizing what you've been holding on too tightly has probably not been good for you, and which has caused that disappointment. And here you have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, I say, is distilling these 3 cups here, which is these 3 cups here that are spent and done. The no point crying over spilt milk. That you're never going to get that wine back out of that sand. You know, if it like fell onto something, you could probably slurp it up, I guess. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're not going to get those 3 cups back. And that's what you're distilling. You're distilling these 3 cups of what you passionately, or what you your heart's desires for your job, your business and your project. You're now getting it streamlined into one venture, into one direction, into one sensation, into a way that's kind of sort of saying, no, actually, I enjoy that aspect of life and I want that in my job. Therefore, I'm leaving this job and going to this job here because this company is like this and it corresponds to me a lot more. Or I'm going to change slightly the direction in my business, the direction that my business goes, and it will be very fortuitous for you in order to get the best out of life. To allow my heart's passions of actually, really doing it. And what's the over outcome? Nurturing. The 7 of... No. We got 3 4s on the table now. I've just realised. I thought we had another 7 on the table. We've got 3 4s because we got the 4 of swords over there. It's a real... getting a lot of structure going on. The 7 of Pentacles is all about nurturing. And sometimes, if you've ever grown tomato plants, as well as I do, they call it the gourmandise, the bit of tomato plant. So you get the tomato plant that's growing. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the word in English and I can't think of it. You have the leaves that grow out, and then you have a little stalk that comes out that does flowers, and it's going to make tomatoes. But they're going to be small tomatoes. They're not going to be good tomatoes. They're not going to be massive. And you need to break them off. The greedy ones. That's it. The greedy. I couldn't think of the word. There it is. So you need to break them off. So you need to get rid of things. And in order for the main flowers that's gradually growing up on the tomato stem as it goes up, they get nice big juicy fruits. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to realise what fruits are going to be giving you the good results and what you need to nurture going forward. Okay? So let's just do a bit of clarification on the Light Seers card. Very interesting reading, Aries. One of the most in-depth reading. It's not just a case of you're going to be fantastic and everything like that. There's a lot of work here, actually. And I think you really thrive on that in life. And it doesn't necessarily mean work as in sort of like 9 to 5 work. It's also work on oneself and everything like that. But also working with others, with the collective. And I think you're going to really actually find it satisfying, very fulfilling as a sort of thing as it goes forward. A lot of healing that comes out of it. A lot of healing that comes out of it. A lot of ideas that it's like revelation. It's almost like a blessing in a way to know these things. So there's a lot of healing that sort of comes out of it. 2 of Swords. It jumped out earlier on, the 2 of Swords. I don't know if you saw that. But it still wants to come out. And this is the decision here. Are you going to look to the past or are you going to look to the future? It's a tough decision, I know. Sometimes it's sort of like kind of going, but if I go in this direction, I'll lose a lot of these people that I love. You may do for the time being, but once they realise who you are, you'll come back into the fold. There's no worry about that. But it's also about being a leader in your life, making tough decisions. What I say about people that are blindfolded, that are wandering around, I almost think that's what's bringing you the disappointment in a way. And not to get your head beat up about it. As long as you go towards your future, and this is what I think there's a simple choice here for you to go either one way or another. Go towards those 2 of Cups. Go towards things that unite you within you, and it will automatically sit nicely with the people that are around you. With the 6 of Wands, you get the 4 of Swords, which the universe is trying to bring you here. Healing, you can see here, you know, healing on the heart, feeling that nest again, feeling that at one, being at one with oneself, at home within you. That's what it's all about. And it's going to be your biggest victory. You don't really care about the rest of the world, you know, because at the end of the day, you've got to live your life. You've got to look in the mirror as well. You know, you've got to be happy with yourself before anything else. And if someone else sort of turns around and goes, oh, that's kind of going, yeah, well, you know, have a look at your life first before you start judging my garden. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So with the Four of Swords, yeah, I think this healing factor from the universe is going to help you to sort of like really let go of your passions and explore your passions and allow them to flow. And that's what the moon card has done as well. Brought things to the surface here, so you can really start recognizing that passionate thing that you're going to have to make through that decision to go forward in life. It's going to help you to explore all of those passions and play with them, which are going to help you to sort of sift out, and this is what the universe is bringing you, sift out the things that are just dead, done and dusted with. And it seems to be a massive transition for you, Aries. A really beautiful transition for you. Yeah, I think Capricorn brought the mechanics to the surface, so you can see that cup. That cup there, which we can see on the Four of Cups there, but it's also one of those cups that we can see on the Two of Cups, on the Five of Cups. It's brought you to a clarity of vision of what really sits well with you in regards to your relationships with the outside world, with you yourself, just because you see the undercurrents now so very much more clearly. And it's much easier for you to see the chaff from the wheat. Okay, you know, it's that's what Capricorn's brought you, a lot of clarity. What's dead, done and dusted with? Fighting, by the looks of things. Fighting things that of people that are just blindfolded. You know, I'm not realizing it. I think there is a degree of that. An honourable fight, as it were, and it's not necessarily fighting for the destruction or the detriment of another person at all. It's not how I see it. But also at the same time, with that card there, and it's ties into that of dead, done and dusted with, of letting go of a lot of things, it's allowing you now, as almost with an inner conflict with yourself, to start striving to be the best example of yourself. That's what seems to be the sort of undercurrent that's pushing you through, to flush out all the stuff that is dead, done and dusted with. And it's going to make you incredibly victorious in the end. Out with the old and in with the new. What did I say? Get rid of that tower. I think this tower moment is absolutely brilliant for you, and I think you're the first one turning around, kind of going, right, let's start whipping this tower down. Let's get that tower down, because the Ace of Wands here is bringing in that passion, because the universe has asked you to play around with it, play around with your passions, explore your passions, to bring you back to being at one with yourself. And finally, the outcome of it is out with the old and in with the new. And this brings an enormous amount of passions for you. It brings you into a place where there's a lot more activities, there's a lot more engagement with your spiritual path, with your relationships, in a way that is clear and open to sunshine, to shine into your life. Out with the old and in with the new. Yeah, that is the main thing that comes along with it. Okay, let's just see what's going on your material side. The Empress card, yeah, the starting of something new. The Empress has got complete control over her emotions. She is the Empress of the Empire emotionally. That's what she does, and she creates something new, and that's what Aquarius is all about, that creation side. A whole new planet, a humanity, a way of doing it, and that is by taking control over false conflicts that don't actually serve anything in real life, but just serve to have power over another group of people, and that it's just pointless ego fighting. And I think this is here, your karmic mission is to call it out and to really, put into place that logical evolution that's going to provide so much for you. And once you do that, and this is where once you do start sort of stamping those sort of things out, and it will go very quickly. Sorry, that card there. It will go very quickly, as I said, going off in your curiosity, going off in a direction, heading off towards the future rather than the past. And that future has got the Queen of Pentacles underpinning it. And the Queen of Pentacles is that she is sat at the tree of knowledge. She knows that logical progression, which is what Capricorn is, because that's what a Capricorn card does, the Queen of Pentacles. It's bringing in that logical understanding at the base of the tree of knowledge. So she's sitting there saying, I know at this time of year, this tree will be giving me fruit. I will automatically get food to eat. She just knows how life goes. And she doesn't really need to run around like a headless chicken and saying to everybody, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. She's just very constant. And I think this consistency within you comes because you're flushing it out of that and getting rid of that disappointment within your life. And it just, ultimately it makes it really, really clear. What's the Four of, look at that, you get the Queen of Wands. So we've now got the Queen of Pentacles and now the Queen of Wands that comes up with the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I think breaking things down, as I said, she's concentrating on that one tea cake. Is it tea cake? It's not a tea cake. Is it tea lantern? Tea candle. Oh, right. She's concentrating on that one tea candle, but there's loads of tea candles around her. You know, these little candles around her, there's loads of them, but she's concentrating on one thing at the time. And that's what that's all about. It's about sort of like being very conscious about how you put your money, your time and your effort into the world around you and how you put it into your career, your business and your projects. Being very, very, very clear with yourself. And when you invest, you really invest. That's the thing here. That's with this card here. So when you really do give away one of those pentacles, it is something that you've been nurturing for a long time. It's something that you feel really, it's part of you that you're giving to them. You know what I mean? It's quite important. So, you know, being very passionate about what you're actually getting involved in, I think will really bring you sort of a lot of understanding, but also a lot of contentment within your life, within your career path and your business and so forth. With the, did that not come out earlier on? I think it did. Might have been with you. You know, Four of Cups, distilling that all into that one cup there, yeah, is going to change life for you. It's going to give you, it's like the Wheel of Fortune is spinning and you're concentrating on an angle, and then you can grab that angle and use the Wheel of Fortune to propel you in a direction. And knowing that point on the Wheel of Fortune that you want to take is going to take a little bit of distilling. And that's where Aquarius is really helping you. And once you know it and go after it, it's going to be exponential, your victories and security. You're going to be the ultimate winner out of all of this. It's like, you know, someone's running a race. You must have seen it like on videos, like someone's running a race. They're coming into the last sort of like 20 meters and they kind of go, I won. And then all of a sudden this person comes out of nowhere who's really determined, just goes straight past them. And they end up winning and the other person losing. You know, and, you know, it's like you are that person going past them. And everyone kind of going, where did Aries come from? Well, Aries has been on the case. Aries has been working hard. Hasn't been sort of blowing its own trumpet. Aries is on the case. Two of Cups. That is what the outcome is for that. For the seven of, the revelation of seven, right? Is that Two of Cups there. That comes from that Five of Cups there. Walking to your future. Being in complete harmony with yourself, at one with yourself. And you have nurtured it. You have done it. You have done that determination to be that person that runs past the leader at the last sort of like 10 minutes, 10 meters, where they're too busy basking in their own sort of glorification. You're just going on and doing it. And it's going to bring you to such a beautiful place. I get such a good feeling about it. And I get such a good feeling for you as well. And, you know, I'd really want an Aries around me in the next sort of like 10, 15 years. There's no doubt about it. Really, really beautiful outcome. Really beautiful outcome. Absolutely chuffed to bits for you, Aries. Really nice reading. very poignant and precise reading in a way. Really, really lovely. So there you go. Thank you very much for being here. Don't forget, we've got your monthly readings coming out next weekend as well. So I will see you there for that. We've also got videos coming out on Cymatic TV. That's one of the reasons why I'm no longer doing the weeklies as well, because I want to concentrate on the energy side of life. And I will be having a new channel coming out on about my healing and all the healing processes that we go through. Thank you very much for your support for this channel. I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.